Alright, guys, so we're into 5 week. Today's press conference day. Tomorrow we have the weigh ins. And then Saturday we have the fights coming. And my prediction for Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns is I'm going with Gilbert Burns on this one. I made a video earlier this week talking about how Belal can beat Gilbert, but I wasn't talking about the X factors that are in this fight. And some of these factors are, well, Burns has momentum. He fought like 3 weeks ago. He's already fought twice this year. He's feeling like healthy. He says he's changed a lot of bad habits in his life, and he introduced a lot of I'm kidding, but he said in his submission radio interview that he was basically about to say he introduced a lot of steroids, but then he kind of cut himself off. He said, I introduced a lot of and then he didn't finish the word, but he basically admitted to taking steroids, which is no surprise considering he was one of the guys who was training at the Black Silence gym. And for a while, I kind of have a feeling most of those guys were on juice. Anyway, so it is what it is. Belal is already also in words. Like, you can just tell, like, he's got some marking on his stomach, some acne on his back. And he got, like, a lot of muscle ever since, like, 2017 or 2016, like. But either way, in this fight, I still got Gilbert. I think the activity, he's going to be in better shape than Belal. Belal was saying how he couldn't make the weight or something like that, even though he was in Ramadan, which is like, how can you gain weight during that? Like, it's the whole point of it is too fast. So I don't see why he wanted to fight at 175, unless he's like a weight bully like Hamzat or something like that. But either way, this fight's taking place at 170 pounds. Now, Gilbert's making weight twice in 3 weeks. I don't think he got that heavy after the Masvidal fight. But Belal, I think it could be quite a bit of a rough weight cut for him. And the biggest thing going against Belal is the conditioning factor. This is a 5-round fight, but what type of shape is he in? Is he in good shape, in 5-round shape? We don't know that. And how exactly is he gonna approach this? Because, he's gonna have to put pressure on Gilbert. He's gonna have to, obviously, just be aware of Gilbert's overhands. And there's some things like Gilbert could shoot takedowns, but I don't think he'll get it. Is Belal gonna shoot takedowns if he gets hurt, if he gets rocked? What is he gonna do? Because we saw that when he got rocked versus Vicente Luque, he went to shoot for takedowns, right? He went for the clinch. But if you do that against Burns, and especially if you're rocked and you're not at 100%, you might get reversed yourself and end up on the bottom, which is not good. And I could see him going for takedowns simply because, a lot of times these jiu-jitsu guys, it's no one wants to go to the ground. When they get dropped, okay, let's just leave them on the floor. Kamaru Usman did this versus Gilbert Burns. Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, they did this against Charles Oliveira because they didn't want to get submitted off his back, even though he was rocked. But I think Belal could actually look to offensively wrestle in this fight. He might do it, but he's the type of guy that usually he'll go to where he'll take the fight to where their opponent is the least dangerous. For example, Wonderboy. He's a good striker, so take him down. Damian Maia. He's a good grappler, so keep the fight on the feet. But Gilbert is a mix. Now, he's good on the feet. He's great on the ground. But I could see Belal still shooting takedowns because it's still going to be quite hard to submit such a high-level fighter off your back like that. I know that Gilbert is a high-level BJJ black belt. But I feel like Belal is probably going to try to mix it up just so he can just have that level change trained as well in his back pocket. Even though Gilbert has pretty good takedown defense, I think he could make something happen. But either way, I feel like Gilbert's going to be in good shape. He's going to be able to have the striking edge, in my opinion. He's probably going to just like mix it up with his legs, with the leg attacks, the heavy punches. I feel like Belal, he's not gonna go for too many leg kicks, even though I said that should be a part of his plan. But I don't know if he's gonna, have enough time to game plan properly for someone like Gilbert. It's kind of like you're putting them together like on short notice, and it's like who's the better overall fighter. And I feel like he's a good fighter when he has time to game plan. Like he's a good planner, and he's got good game plans for certain fighters. But if you put him on short notice, that's where he's gonna struggle. And whereas Gilbert, I feel like he can take short notice fights and still like do well in those. And like he's got a really good style, and it's a tough matchup for anyone in the weight class. Like you saw what he did with Kamaru Usman, with Khamzat Chimaev, and I just feel like Bilal's not gonna have that enough like pop in his shots to really like make like give respect to Gilbert. I think Gilbert's gonna like meet him forward as Bilal's trying to pressure, and Bilal's gonna end up like being the one that's getting pressured. And when you're not in shape and you're the one that's backing up, that's gonna use a lot of energy because you're not ready for that. Like fighters who use a lot of footwork and move around the cage, like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson or Israel Adesanya, they have great cardio because it's not easy to do that for like 5 rounds. You know what I mean? Even if it's like just being defensively aware, picking your opponent apart as you're moving backwards, it's really, really hard. I get that Belal has really good cardio, as we see that like once you have good wrestling cardio, like your overall cardio is just gonna improve. But I still feel I just don't feel like he's gonna be in the right shape, because even though he was talking about like him fighting Kobe in March and all that, like I don't feel like he's been training as hard as Gilbert Burns, who's just coming off 2 fight camps. And I just think that's going to be the difference mainly. Gilbert, I think he'll be able to stop Belal Muhammad maybe in the 4th round. I feel like Belal is going to be able to stay in there, but eventually his undoing is going to be the cardio and just taking those heavy shots. It's not going to mix well. And, Gilbert has showed that he can slow down a bit. He slowed down in the Kamaru Usman fight and the Khamzat Chimaev fight. But in those fights, he was in, like, huge brawls. And both, like, his opponents are really well conditioned. But Belal's not going to be in that sort of condition. So I think that Gilbert's going to be able to dictate the pace a bit better. Kind of like how he did with Tyron Woodley. Like, with Tyron Woodley, he was able to explode. But he was able to control the pace so he could have his rest periods. And then the next round, okay, I'm going to explode again. And then maybe I'm going to take him down, you know what I mean? Like, and the later on the fight goes, like, around the 3rd round or so, the takedowns are going to start coming a bit easier. But I do feel like around the 4th round, he's going to be, like, those heavy shots are going to take a toll on Belal. And I think he's going to be able to, like, hurt him pretty bad. And Belal doesn't have the best shin. We saw what Jeff Neal did to him. We saw what Vicente Luque did to him the first time. Now, those are heavy punchers, and Gilbert Burns is one of those guys. He's a heavy puncher too. So I think he's going to be able to, like, really hurt Belal. Maybe drop him in the 4th round, and I think he'll finish him with a rear naked choke in this fight. I think that, yeah, Gilbert Burns by 4th round submission. It could be a TKO. Like, I just, the way I could see Belal winning this on a full camp, with the tools that he has. But like I said, he's more a guy that's good when he's got time to prepare. He's like, kind of like how Batman with prep time, but Gilbert doesn't need that prep time. He's just so well-rounded. His skills match up with, like, most people in that weight class. It's just, for Gilbert, mainly about his energy preservation, but I think he got this one.